Major funding for these broadcasts is made possible by grants from Capital One Bank, New York Community Bank, Eastern Consolidated, M&T Bank, Sterling National Bank, Meridian Capital Group, Customers Bank, Ariel Property Advisors, Dime Community Bank. Additional funding is made possible by grants from AM Trust Title, AVR Realty Company, Avison Young, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Bank Leumi USA, Briarwood Organization, CBRE, Chase Commercial Term Lending, Chase Commercial Mortgage, Citizens Bank, CPEX Real Estate Services, Colliers International NYC, Cohen Equities, Collins Building Services, Douglaston Development, Levine Builders, Flushing Bank, Friedman LLP, Handler Real Estate Organization, Handro Properties, Hodges Ward Elliott, Inc., Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Institute at Syracuse University, Kilroy Architectural Windows, Madison Realty Capital, Matone Group, Mercantile Bank, New Banks, Newmark Knight Frank, Optimum Window Manufacturing Corp., People's United Bank, Rockefeller Group, Rosewood Realty Group, SJP Properties, Stonehenge Partners, TD Bank, Terra CRG, the Meringoff Family Foundation, the Moynihan Organization, Moynihan Capital Partners, and these friends.
You think of restaurants, it's not only restaurants, it's venues, it's museums, it's theaters, it's aquariums, okay? Yeah, there are other places. It's the U.S. Open. So today, with the help of my executive producer, Drew, we've brought together three individuals who will talk about the sports venue and feeding the people in these venues and establishments. Dick Cattani, who is the CEO of Restaurant Associates. The legendary chef David Burke, who is the chef at Tavern 62 by David Burke. And last but not least, can't do a food show or anything like that without Drew Nieporent.
Thank you.
Okay.
I own everything.
You own everything. Okay. But I didn't realize that Nobu was a sports venue.
Well, I don't think we've broken into the sports venue yet for Nobu, but we have with some other places. Well, actually, that's not true. Is it called Indian Point? The golf tournament out in California?
Oh, yeah.
Nobu actually on the West Coast through Larry Ellison, who's a partner in Malibu. Nobu does actually do sports.
I alluded to the U.S. Open. How many years has RA been working at the U.S. Open, and how'd that happen?
Over 40 years. Started at Forest Hills, where the original U.S. Open took place. And then when they built the new facility in Flushing, we moved with the USTA. So it's well over 40 years.
The last 7 years, you've had the opportunity of having David work with you over there. I'll age ourselves to Drew's age, you know. The old Harry M. Stevens at Yankee Stadium. It was just terrible, okay? Today, you know, you have quality food that people really want to enjoy at these venues. How do you get a David Burke to be at the U.S. Open with you?
Yeah, the process starts in about a month. So we do the due diligence of taking a look at how things worked this past Open, what worked well, what didn't work well, what was mixed reviews, take a hard look at everything, and then we start the whole process. So it's led by Ed Brown, who works for Restaurant Associates, been involved with RA for almost 30 years. And he leads the charge with our partners Levy and with our client as well. And they start reviewing everything. Should we keep everything in place? You're staying in place for next year.
Thank you.
Do we,
Boy, the
do we
reviews are
change
out,
things?
whether you like it
By the
or
way,
not.
we've changed it up because certain chefs couldn't handle the volume. It is intense for 2 weeks. There is nothing like it in the sports world.
How do you set up for a 2-week venue that you have to have waiters, waitresses, chefs, sous chefs, people at every level? I mean, how many employees do you have?
We start
in
with
the food
5
service?
year-round. We go to 1,500 for 2 weeks. It is not for everyone, but we're fortunate that we can support the open because the core of our business is here in New York.
Drew brought up an interesting comment. What effect has the dome had on the food dining at the?
I think for the guests, it's a home run, right? Matches continue. They just close the dome after how many minutes? Matches continue. For our business, we love some rain. It would rain. It would shower. Where the folks go? They eat and drink. Go back to the match. They dry off the court. Showers come again. They go back into the restaurants. So for us over the years, it worked out pretty well.
So, getting back to my comment about the Harry M. Stevens and everything, you know, Drew's in Madison Square Garden. Okay, he's also in Citi Field. Okay, how has the food changed that it's not the bland Harry M. Stevens type of product to a finer food? What elevated the change?
Well, the companies and guys like Dick Cattani saw that the consumer, the people going to the venues, they wanted this. They wanted a better product. In my case, when we were approached by Madison Square Garden, they were in the midst of their transformation where they were going to spend $1 billion fixing the entire building. So why not improve all the food and beverage outlets? And they self-manage, but a lot of these sports venues hire the companies like Dick's. What other arenas are you in? You're in like...
Well, Levy's and Barclays, they're the largest operator in America today under the Levy brand. And it's a huge business. And
Those are the people from upstate?
No, Larry Levy.
Chicago.
Actually,
Chicago.
Larry Levy was very early on bringing in people like Wolfgang Puck to do venues, for instance, not only in Chicago, but also in Los Angeles. And this is a very competitive market. These guys are all trying to get these concessions, you know, these venues. And so they had to look at the owners of, you know, of the sports teams and say, this is what we can, this is who we can attract. We can attract the David Burke. We can bring, you know, big marquee name chefs. A little like what happened in Las Vegas. You know, gaming was flat, and they had to find a revenue source, and the chefs in food and beverage became that revenue source.
But if I remember, in Vegas, a lot of the chefs really have, as they say, not too much skin in the game because the hotel operator would build these venues for them. Am I correct?
Well, it's Dick's company that has skin in the game. If David Burke is paying
we
rent.
have lots of skin
No,
in the
you
game.
have a lot of skin in the game, but a number of these chefs who open up restaurants where basically it's built around them.
Well, one deal doesn't always fit all. I mean, I'm sure you make.
And I think that
guys.
happened early on. I think they've changed the dynamics and the deals going forward.
Casino deals have changed. but
Oh, the
they
casino-
They still elevated the level of food in Vegas.
Yeah.
Just by doing the license deals.
Right.
All of a sudden, then that started with the
In
Bellagio.
the same way, Dick, that we were talking before, you know, that you have 5 people and then you reach 1,500 people. How do you do it when you're at Lincoln Center and at the museums that you're at in New York?
Well, we operate 52 weeks out of the year. Big difference in 2
Right,
weeks,
but some
right?
of them you operate like only evenings from.
That's right. We have a lot of dark nights, and you've got to flex labor. You got to man it accordingly. But that business has become even more difficult than years ago as well. There's more dark nights than ever before. There's more performing arts centers than ever before. There's less product, if you will, at these events. Museums are a little bit steady. I mean, that's an everyday business for us and a good business. So, but that's changing as well. There's no.
Now, what about you? Besides the U.S. Open, have you been at other sports venues?
Well, I did some work with Aramark early on, and I did some cruise ship work. So for volume and designing recipes that work for volume. If you bring a guy like me in to do 700 covers, day one or for 14 days in a row, you're opening a restaurant which normally in the real world you would practice for a couple of weeks. and you do 30, 40 covers, you know. But you're opening and you're doing 700 covers the first day. So you need to be really prepared. You gotta be smart in writing the menu. And one of the advantages of doing it year after year is I have a staff with me that goes out there every year, and I have waiters that actually quit their job for 2 weeks or take 2-week leave of absence to go work there because they'll make 5 times as, well, they'll make 3 or 4 times as much more money.
Right, they're making more money.
And they're out in a sports venue, and it's a nice change of pace. So one of the advantages to a restaurateur like me is I can get some of my key people off the payroll in New York City, which is the 2 slowest weeks of the year, 2 last weeks of the summer, put them on out at the U.S. Open, and it's hard work for them. But we have consistency, and it's a little bit more fun to get out of New York City in August and go out to the park.
Okay, what about the perception that going into a restaurant or a venue in a sports arena or an entertainment facility is pricey? I mean, there's a general public.
Is it pricey?
No, it's a perception by the public that it's more expensive.
Yeah.
When you go to, especially, none of you are at Yankee Stadium, where it's exceptionally pricey. It's by the legends, so it's
but Michael, if you look at the ticket prices at the U.S. Open, there's a correlation to the food prices as well, which I think works well. But as long as the product is good, as long as the service is good, people are willing to pay, and we've seen that year over year over year. What we have to do, though, is create excitement every year, and that's why we look at new venues, new chefs, new programs every year to introduce.
Right, because you don't want to be stale, right? You want to make a change. You want to, and then it's the publicity around it, okay? There was great publicity for the U.S. Open on the food.
Fantastic.
Okay,
outstanding this year.
Okay, great publicity. And the fact that, the David Burke and, Tavern 62 and the chef David Burke, the same thing that, even though Drew's not a chef, but he runs an operation of restaurants, people know anything under Drew's tutelage is going to be good. So people realize that the food is
there's a huge trust factor there. There's no question. Yeah.
Well, I know in Madison Square Garden, the people that chose us spent a lot of time thinking it through. And by and large, the fallout was very minor. Whereas you can look at the Time Warner building, major restaurants were placed in there and major big name chefs as well that didn't necessarily correlate to.
Right. If you look at the Time Warner Center,
they had more turnover than we had.
The initial tenants moved out substantial. I mean, Michael took over the steakhouse, and he did a great job. But before the 2 other steakhouses.
Oh yeah, John George, who wasn't successful.
Yeah, Greg Kuntz and John George.
Which is rare because John George is so successful. In fact, John George has a chicken hot dog concession at Madison Square Garden because his partner, Phil Suarez, is a diehard Knicks fan. Part of the attraction, quite frankly, is a lot of us love sports. So as a kid growing up, I was at Madison Square Garden with the GO tickets and, basically the opportunity, to have a concession in Madison Square Garden, it's like it's a dream come true. In my case, though, when they said, we'd like you to do hamburgers, I was like, what are you talking about? I said, first of all, I worked at McDonald's. I got the hamburgers out of my system.
I saw the picture.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Number 2, Danny Meyer obviously is our counterpart, has been very successful with hamburgers. So, but then it became a challenge to me, and I thought it through, and we created something that I'm so proud of, and people love the burger.
So here's a question: when you sign a lease for a restaurant, you're signing a 5-year, 10-year lease, or 15-year lease, or as Shelley would say, our friend Shelley Fireman, he likes signing 40-year leases if he could, right? And he has. When you're going into a entertainment venue or a sports venue, what kind of lease do you have? Is it a year to year or are you?
No. In this case, the U.S. Open is a 10-year term, which we recently renewed, Levy and RA. But to give you another example, Lincoln Center, 24-year lease at Lincoln Center, unheard of. But we're going to be there for a good many years. Now, the arrangements we have with like these guys is basically year to year. That's our arrangement with all the celebrity chefs.
What about you at the Garden?
Yeah, I was going to say, Michael, that every I'm in a lot of venues. I'm also Citi Field with the Mets. I do something at MetLife. I would tell you that each building has a different operator, and each building approaches it in a different way. But my thinking is we're the value added. So the idea of going into a venue that even Citi Field, there's only 82 home games. So, I mean, that's not even a third of the year. It's hard for me. I don't have that kind of infrastructure like, Dick's company to move my own staff out there. So we basically control the most important positions, the general management, the chefs, maybe the sous chefs as well. And, we show up. We make sure to supervise.
Yeah, because it's your name, it's your reputation.
Right, but we're not operating it whereby we have to sign a lease and worry about the bottom line. That's a different story.
How are you looking at this? Would you like to expand your reach into more venues?
Yeah, the way we work with Restaurant Associates and Levy is they're the muscle. We're the creative and we're the brand. But with that, and after a couple of years of working with their chefs and managers, it's an easy phone call to set things up. And like we said, he'll review what worked, what didn't sell, and we'll adjust for next year. This year we put the BLT popover on. We're baking our own bread for $700 a day. That's because we moved the kitchen. Mm-hmm. We invested in the kitchen. We invested in Actual Champions is a brand new restaurant. They invested in making it look nicer, and we had the opportunity to move one of the kitchens.
As opposed to a pop-up. Right.
As opposed to they know they're going to be there.
This is a 2-week pop-up.
Yeah.
It's a 2-week pop-up, but it's a physical location. That's
right. It is. It's a permanent location.
That's what I'm saying.
Dick brought up Ed Brown, who's been on your show. Ed's a seasoned professional. He's worked closely with Dick and over the years, and he really understands the logistics, and that's what it's about.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. It's a partnership. It's with David, with the client, and with Ed Brown.
They have to be able to come to me and say, David, that's a great dish, but it's not going to work for lunch here.
I got to tell you, as I've gotten older and been in the business longer,
you look much younger.
Yeah, thank you. The people matter. In other words, David, you can give David Burke 2 eggs, a frying pan, and some butter, and you can give it to another chef, and it's going to taste totally different. It's going to look different. So it's
I'm going to serve you 3 eggs.
These guys are smart. They look out in the landscape. I think the key thing is to choose somebody who's creative, can deliver the goods, and is not going to be a complete screw up. I mean, that's part of it.
Here's the question. The World Trade Center opens up. The World Financial Center. There's going to be some new museums opening up, like the Whitney move over there. How did somebody get the opportunity to be the chef or the operator within these new venues that are being built?
I think there's a bidding process.
Yeah, there's typically for any museum, any performing arts, it's an RFP process, a request for proposals. Typically that's done.
When you're doing that RFP, are they asking you specifically also the type of restaurants that you're going to put in? Okay, is it going to be a Nobu type of brand, okay, or something like that? Now, I mean, you had a small Nobu downtown. Now you're at 195 Broadway, where you have a huge facility because there's a lot of things happening in Lower Manhattan. The Shed is supposed to be being built at the Hudson Yards. Downtown, we're supposed to have the new museum over there in the Arts Center. Do you see those as opportunities for all of you?
They've approached me on the Shed.
I was going to say, there are a few potentials here for all of us.
I don't even know the Shed.
But I think to answer your question, I think they give you the space, they give you the sort of direction or the view of the restaurant, but you've got to come up with the concept and the programming.
I mean, you're in Lincoln Center, but you have the situation over there with the David Geffen. You have a new benefactor over there. The benefactor comes in there, and he says, you know what? I gave $100 million, so I want to change. He may not get rid of you, but he may want you to change your type of food, your type of chef, or something like that.
There have been.
We haven't heard from him, by the way.
No, but
but historically, what I remember is there was a moment out at the Open where they brought in the Emile group, and for 1 year, I don't know what they call themselves, Whiteman Emile.
2 years, 20 years ago.
It didn't work out very well, and
they
saw the error of their ways, and they came back to these guys.
That's exactly right.
They corrected the error, and it was an error. It was an unforced error, like in tennis.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So here's the question. RA is specifically in the catering business, okay, in the food service business. You left the restaurant business.
No, they have restaurants.
We have about 25 restaurants, but they're typically.
But they're within the venues.
They're not destination restaurants.
Right, but
that's correct.
But they're in the venues.
That's
over
exactly
there.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're specifically over there. How difficult do you think it would be, being you and you, being operators of restaurants, okay, to go into the full service venue of running one of these operations?
Oh no, today we couldn't compete with them. We don't have them, right?
Michael, it's too much capital. It's too much a requirement on the rent side. It's a big commitment. So we have the wherewithal, the resources, but we bring these guys in to help us execute.
Here's the question, and David alluded to it before. You're manning a place from 5 people to 1,500 people, okay? The biggest problem, you know, everybody looks at the Food Network, you know, they watch Gordon Ramsay, they watch all these things, and they believe that it's wonderful to get into the hospitality business. It's hard.
Yeah.
How do you train the people that you need to work in these facilities to provide the quality food?
You have to have the right generals.
You also have to buy smart. You can't do everything from scratch. You know, you have to have a production kitchen, and then they bring the stuff up to the kitchen I'm operating somewhat processed, whether the meat's cut already, and you know we can't be filleting fish while we're feeding 700.
But I'm really talking more of the labor situation.
We got to train. You know what?
I'm talking getting people. You know, they want quality. They go into the museum. They go into the restaurant in the Guggenheim over the Wright restaurant. They want that quality. How do you? And then especially during these period of times, the 82 games that you speak about, okay, or the 2 weeks that we're talking about over here. How do you get that young person, because it's a tough business?
We can't do it. They have so many employees that they borrow the best from Barclays to come over to U.S. Open. Some of them the ones that come back year in and year out are great for us because at least we know they can do these 4 things, and we'll teach them the next. Right. And we put a supervisor in each department, and our supervisors will work 15 days in a row during that period, and then they'll take a week off or what have you. And they'll just teach and train and give them, you know, listen, some of the guys are really good and some aren't. And you know, some people show up, but they're already employees of RA or Levy, so they're not going to quit.
We can mobilize for something like this. But let's be clear, though. The labor market is close to being a crisis for all of us.
That's right.
It is a serious issue.
That's what I'm bringing out.
Yeah. There's only 10 Jet games, 2 of which are preseason. So how do you hire for one day? And so a lot of times, depending upon the company, in the case of MetLife, they have Delaware North there. They'll draw from Philadelphia or Washington if they have operations just for the single day. I mean, it's an amazing thing to watch. And do they hit the level of execution all the time that, you know, we're proud of in our restaurants? That's, you know, caveat emptor. But I think overall, you got to tip your hat to just how amazing they operate, because I've been witness now to almost all these companies. I've worked in partnership with almost all of them, and it's extraordinary.
So here's a question. A phenomena, I mean, they used to call them food courts.
Right.
Now, okay, you know, now they're called food what?
Food halls now.
Food halls, okay.
Yeah, and it's a total different thing.
Okay, the food hall, which is a totally different thing, which is a combination of certain people who may be semi-chefs or franchisee type of operators.
It's the same thing. It's dressing the pig up a little
bit
differently.
No, I agree. You're dressing the pig up a little bit different.
There's better graphics.
My question is, do you see that proliferation possibly ending up at the museums or at the sports
It's there already.
No, I mean...
One of the problems with the food hall is if you have different operators, the labor and the food costs are out of whack, because you got 5 different companies ordering food from 5 different places. So if you have a master caterer with like Restaurant Associates and Levy does, paying a couple other chefs a license fee for their ideas, and they control the purchasing and the labor, you're better off. But to try and have the different guys operating...
I think it's a space we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Right now, it seems to be successful and popular. I'm not sure it's going to be. I was going to bring. It's got legs because
there are too many opening up all over, and they all believe that they're wonderful. But when you have the one near 42nd Street, you know, in Vanderbilt, that's one. But now within a 5-block radius, you're going to have 5. So the question of how many.
We just had one open on Canal Street, and It's extraordinary.
I saw it. I
They
drove
have
past
the
it.
namwa and they have
Yeah.
ramen and it's really it's good execution. But keep in mind, I don't know if Dick definitely remembers. You're too young, and you might remember in the World Trade Center, Joe Baum had the big kitchen. It was called the Big Kitchen, and it was doing this, was in the 60s into the
60s,
70s.
70s.
And I, as a young person, I remember walking in and saying, he's got two guys over there. He's got every station had two guys. I said, this is labor-wise, this is kind of crazy. But at least it was under one umbrella.
Right.
And they had a commissary. Jacques Pepin, the great chef, was making the soup somewhere in the building.
And you're also not competing.
It was an extraordinary
not
operation.
It was ahead of
competing
its
with-
time.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah. Right now, you're competing with your neighbor. Where if one person owns
Right,
them all,
you may have
you can shift the line down.
But look at Grand Central Terminal. I would have bet $1 million that couldn't work. I remember guys coming to me and saying, you should do this, and I'm like, I don't want to be in a train terminal. But
Yeah.
Oh, you
worked out
mean the
pretty well.
operation over there, the separate?
They have everything is there. They have every
Right.
possible.
Down the lower level.
I feel bad
Right,
for
the
the
lower
Oyster
level.
Bar.
It was empty.
I feel bad for the Oyster Bar because the Oyster Bar is an extraordinary place, and they lose market share. They have to all the different venues that are down there. It's like a food hall now.
It'd be interesting in 3 years to revisit food halls and see how successful
Right,
they
I
really
mean,
are.
Due to Drew's help, we had a couple of operators who operated in the food hall, and one of them, he basically closed his bar.
Well, he closed the brisket place to open the fried chicken place.
Correct. So no.
Better food costs.
Yeah, better food costs.
And that was one. And then we had the other guy who was in the deli business who basically closed because it didn't work out. So even though it's
been
in
a lot
its
of-
infancy, it's
There's
already
been a lot of
having
churning
change
right
over
now.
there.
A lot of churning going on.
So in summation, it looks like since everybody likes to eat and the manger is over there and the venues are doing well, it's going to continue to do well. And you're going to continue to cook
I hope
or
so.
present, and the two of you are going to operate. And I'd like to thank Dick, David, and of course Drew. And I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.